Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get that Stefenfu music going. Get psyched up for what's coming up next. It's going to be Jesulin versus Cruzz. This is the top half semifinals of our $1,000 tournament. Welcome back to the show, Romeo. How are you doing this evening?
Great. Very good.
I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, we've seen a lot of action. We managed to jump into 3 different quarterfinals games. I'm proud of us. Not bad, right?
Yeah, and all 4 of those quarterfinal game matchups are, crazy. I still can't believe how stacked this tournament is, but things are really going to get crazy now in the semifinals. Jesulin versus Cruzz, that's a huge matchup. I can't wait.
All right, this is the first time I'm going to see Jesulin. He's going to be playing Soviets on Kolodny Ferma Summer. Now, in the best of 5 system, we have a veto system where the players take turns knocking out maps. So we have 5 maps in our pool, and each of them got to chuck one, say we're not playing that map. And then they carry on vetoing, and we figure out what's going to be the game 1 and 2 map, what's going to be the game 3 and 4 map, and then finally, if it goes to a 5th and final ace game, what that map will be. So we might see 3 different maps in each semifinals contest. Games 1 and game 2, we now know, are going to be on Kolodny Ferma Summer. So Jesulin's going to be playing Soviets, Cruzz OKV. What can I say? This is our number 1 and 4 seed. No surprises in the top bracket. The guys who we expected to get here got here. And let's go. They're playing. We're ready. I'm ready. You ready? Fight fans ready? Sunday Night Fights main event. Here we go. Main event. All those undercard fights are over. Now it's time for the headline. Follow me. Follow me in game. Let's do this thing. Here we go. All right. I got Jesulin here. I'm going to get that fog of war off and get us rolling. We are underway. An interesting destruction of a Tier 1 building from Jesulin right off the bat. But let's introduce the players. In the blue trunks, the number 1 seed in this tournament, representing Spain. He's dominated the ladders. He won Alienware Arena EU. The Spaniard, his first name is Jesus, and he plays like a god. It's Jesulin! Oh, Romeo, you're getting the hang of this. And the player that we just saw defeat the Sunday Night Fight Season 5 champ, coming out of Finland, a frequent member of chats, just laying it down, telling you the situation as far as unit stats and balance. This is the guy that knows the game backwards, forwards, sideways, and diagonal. He'll be in the red trunks, playing the OKV in this best of 5. It's Cruzz! All right, they're off. The semifinals have begun. We see Cruzz bringing his Schwer Panzer Schlepper, Schwer Wehrmacht Schlepper very far forward. He's crushing some cover in his enemy's territory. He wants to play aggressive, go in there, maybe cut that point off eventually. Jesulin, our number 1 ladder seed and number 1 favorite pick in this tournament, is fighting with conscripts out of the eastern portion of the map. It's good to get this thing finally underway. Romeo, I have a favor of you. I noticed, were you eating some Oreo cookies during the break? What were those?
They're Christmas Oreos.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Winter Oreos.
See, I'm jealous. Romeo, will you do me a favor? Let's do something a little different in this game 1. Will you call the play-by-play and give me a chance to just be observer and have a bite to eat?
Sure.
All right, take it away,
right.
my friend.
Absolutely.
It's all yours.
Well,
take it away.
First thing I want to note is that Jesulin has picked Soviets, and Jesulin visits my stream every now and then. Everybody knows I'm a huge USF fanboy, and I said, Jesulin, what do you think of U.S. forces? I asked him about some commander. I was like, what do you think of recon commander? Are you going to use that in the tournament? He said, oh, I'm not going to play U.S. forces. I hate U.S. forces. And I said, oh, well, okay, that settles that discussion. So no surprise to see him playing as Soviets here. He's got some conscripts holed up in the church, and triple conscripts is a build he's been using in the tournament. I've seen him do it once before in a game against Dedokusin X in the that match where he eliminated him, and he has gone triple conscripts into Tier 1, probably thinking about grabbing himself a sniper or maybe a scout car. I'd be pretty surprised to see penal battalions, but I guess we'll see what he decides to do. We have mines going down in the south from these Stern Pioneers, and the game is paused.
Just 1 second. We're bringing Chris back into the game. We haven't seen him in a while, but I think it's time. All right, go ahead.
We have Stern Pioneers there in the south, planting mines on that strategic point, and conscripts harassing strategic point in the north. So all three two victory points being contested, and this strategic point about to be contested. I think those conscripts might hit that mine. No. Backing away, not wanting to hit that. These conscripts are a little bit idle on the victory point there. Maybe he's not quite sure what he wants to do with those. And the conscripts here in the church doing a little bit of light damage to those Volksgrenadiers, but I think they're moving to take... No, they're actually moving all the way over here to assist in this engagement in the north. Sandbag position has already been constructed by those Volksgrenadiers. Nice play by Cruzz. Those conscripts are taking damage on the approach. I think they'll still win this engagement, though. Maybe. I don't know. That could be a close one. Our initial volley wasn't very good. I think he's going to lose that. But a scout car has hit the field. All right, so Jesulin has gone with the scout car, and he's throwing a flamethrower in there now. Cruzz always plants that early mine in preparation for the scout car. And he did put one down, but it's way down there in the south. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to take that out with that early mine. Ooh, and some conscripts just detonated it, taking out 4 of them. That means that the conscript will remain on the field. Battle group headquarters has been constructed by Cruzz. He's going to need that to heal up those Stern Pioneers. But he has full control of the north, Jesulin's lone conscript squad being forced to retreat. Jesulin, however, has taken control of the house immediately outside of Cruzz's base, which is going to give him a strong position in the center and south. And Jesulin always floats after his first scout car purchase. He always floats like 600 manpower. Usually, I'm assuming it's because he's not quite sure what he wants to get yet. He hasn't picked a doctrine. There he goes. He goes with the commander selection. He picks shock rifle. I think he wants to use that manpower to throw on some shock troops on the field, get them nice and early. Thing is, of course, he has to hit 2 command points first, so he has to try and do a ton of damage with that scout car to get those 2 command points, and it takes some time. But the float is going to continue until he does so.
White scout car, ready for orders.
As far as Cruzz's build decisions, it looks like we do have a Panzerschreck upgrade on one of his Volksgrenadier squads. 30 munitions remaining after doing so. And there's his commander selection. He wants to throw some MG-34s on the field. Fortifications doctrine. Again, no big surprises there. Jesulin's conscripts are rapidly getting overwhelmed. His scout car is moving up to support in the engagement. He should be able to get a good flame burst off here, but everything else has already been forced to retreat, and I think he might get DPS down here just by small arms fire, even though there's not a Panzerschreck available. Jesulin knows this, and he will back away after inflicting some minor model losses, but that did get him up to the 2 command points he needed to start fielding shock troops. He also spent a little manpower on the field infirmary upgrade so he can get those conscripts healed up. More mines going down here in the north. Stern Pioneers putting it on this little road-looking thing by those logs. Cruzz's control of the north main remains pretty good. Oh, and Jesulin just spotted him placing those mines. Spotted him placing those mines. There's basically no way Jesulin's going to hit those. I honestly think Cruzz just canceled them. He's a good player, and after seeing mines, doesn't hit them. Stern Pioneers are going to get forced away by those conscripts. With shock troop support, shock troops might not actually get to make the greatest entrance here. They're walking right into the arc of fire of that MG-34. That's going to shut them down hard. Scout car has been repaired and it's pulling off a flank on the MG-34. The Panzerschreck shot missed. Shock troops throw a grenade in the house, bringing the house to extremely low. It will be destroyed by just about anything now. Another grenade, or even just like ramming with a vehicle. Conscripts there in the south take control of the munitions. Meanwhile, conscripts in the north taking the victory point. Jesulin's map control is not actually great, and Cruzz is making a big push for Jesulin's cutoff now, with 3 squads supported by an MG-34. The scout car is going to try to push him away, but it's inside the arc of fire of the MG-34 and taking heavy damage. It will need to reposition.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Meanwhile, harassment in the north continues. Conscripts will move from the victory point on, probably to the strategic point there in the north. MG34 is guarding the munitions. Cruzz has successfully taken the cutoff. One squad of Volksgrenadiers being forced to retreat. He's a little bit slow to reposition that MG34, which is getting flanked by that full health conscript squad, though. If he doesn't pay attention to that soon, he might lose that MG34. There it goes. I think it should be fine. He is going to retreat across a little bit of red cover, but it does get away, just barely. Shock troops moving up to support, force all infantry to retreat. Jesulin will regain control of his cutoff, and I think he may have spotted that Schwer HQ setting up there. He's taking up a position in this building. Maybe he didn't see it. Yeah, it's behind that hedge. He didn't see that yet, so he doesn't know where that is. But that will be defending Cruzz's cutoff. He's about to find it as he rounds this corner. He might even get a little bit of damage off on it. No, he's just going to immediately retreat. It's too close to completing. He can't afford to just, like, stand there. But he has retaken control of the center victory point. Ooh, S-mine field! Oh! The Volksgrenadiers finish the S-mine field, and the S-mines take out 4 shock troops, but the shock troops kill the Volksgrenadiers on retreat. So that, I think that might be the first squad wipe of the game. Those shock troops taking it. Yeah, it is. First squad wipe of the game. First wipe of anything since the scout car is still alive. Also, note the demo charge on the north victory point. Nice placement there. And that scout car gives those combat engineers just that extra bit of mobility, just zip around the map, throw down a mine, throw down a demo charge, whatever it is. So that's I've talked to Ciez a lot about this. He's a player, and you probably recognize his name. About what's better, put the combat engineers in the scout car, or do you put the Penal Battalion in the scout car? Both of them can have a flamethrower in there, and I always say Penal Battalion. And I think we saw a lot of that in the Starcross Cup, which was my tournament, but Ciez argues for the combat engineer, and he says that giving them that extra mobility to plant mines, giving them the ability to repair if it takes any damage is a huge benefit there. So I think we're seeing Jesulin take Ciez's side of that argument here. Conscripts getting chased away by those Volksgrenadiers. Jesulin really being forced off the map at this point, but he has a pretty healthy blob making its way towards these overextended Volksgrenadiers. They will be able to escape through this little route through to the munitions point, and the shock troops have actually broken away to try and flank this machine gun. It looks like the machine gun will escape alive. Nice Molotov, but a full conscript squad goes down, throwing it. Cruzz is forced to retreat both of those Volksgrenadier squads to avoid losing any full squads in the flames, but unfortunately that does mean a squad wipe for Jesulin. So now both of them have lost one full squad of conscripts down, one full squad of Volksgrenadiers down. So within the first 11 minutes of the game, it's actually been surprisingly lethal. Usually you don't see that many squad wipes when, in a tournament when things are getting this to this level of skill. That being said, they've both played 2 best-of-3s already against somebody that was probably significantly challenging for them. Nice use of the Minesweeper to clear the way for his scout car. Circling around, the S-mines won't detonate. Ooh, nice flame crit, taking out one of the Sturm Pioneers, but ultimately I think they will escape unless he gets a miracle. Might wipe one more model. Yep, there it goes. Squad does get away, and a Panzerschreck is on its way up to support. The Minesweeper will be able to clear away the S-mine field, so very nice play there by Jesulin to get that minefield cleaned up. It takes a ridiculously long time to sweep over an S-mine field, though. Conscripts finish grabbing the south fuel. Shock troops take up a position inside of this house. They're suppressed, and there's Oversoldaten on the field. Cruzz got them quite quick, hitting the field at the 12-minute mark. He does have 95 fuel, so he could have gotten the Lux. Lux is very potent against shock troops, but he opted not to, saving his fuel instead for a Panther. He sees shock troops, so he knows that his opponent either went counterattack, shock motor, shock rifle, something with a heavy tank of some kind, so he's going to need that Panther later. Anyway, best not to delay the issue and just get it out as quickly as he can. Molotov going out on those Volksgrenadiers, and he gets yet more flame crits, bringing the squad down to 2 men remaining, and he is forced to make a full retreat. His shock troops throw a grenade at the Oversoldaten, but Cruzz dodges it nicely, taking heavy damage on retreat. Shock troops will be reduced to 3 models as they round the corner. Obersoldaten going to take up a position in the church. Things looking pretty good for Cruzz as he takes control of all 3 victory points, although we do have harassment of the north victory point. We'll note that it got captured, but the demo charge is still there, so either Jesulin wasn't just watching the demo charge, or he wasn't close enough to that demo charge, or he didn't have vision. He wasn't sure if he was going to get the squad wipe. So that demo charge still has the potential to have a dramatic impact, especially if Cruzz were to send a Shrek squad or an Obersoldaten squad up there. He's probably hoping he doesn't send the Minesweeper squad, because then that will effectively be wasted munitions. Ooh. I think a mine just went off on an MG34 there in the south. It takes 2 model losses. Meanwhile, that Obersoldaten squad is actually in a bit of trouble. He doesn't want to lose that on retreat to that flamethrower. Brought down to about half, 2 models remaining. Fortunately, Jesulin does not chase.
We have the point.
He wouldn't have been able to chase much harder with that Panzerschreck in the retreat path. Here comes a Panzerschreck squad to try to take that victory point. Jesulin is clearly baiting him, though, not taking up a position in cover, but walking away. Oh, but he got too greedy. He detonated it early, and that one final guy wasn't quite there in the area of effect, but a flamethrower scout car is on the way to try and finish the job, and it looks like it could go down, just barely wiping that Volksgrenadier squad before it can round the corner into the protective zone of the Schwer Panzer headquarters. That is a huge loss for Cruzz, losing that Panzerschreck squad. Nice usage of the demo charge and using the flamethrower car to finish the job. Shock troops moving up to take the munitions point. Those Stern Pioneers can't defend with that flamethrower right there. Conscripts grabbing the strategic point, and meanwhile in the south, a Minesweeper will be taking the southern victory point. But they should get chased away by these Volksgrenadiers. Maxim taking up a position in the church. Again, Jesulin likes to transition out of conscripts and into tier 2. Oh, armor-piercing rounds! Oh! Armor-piercing rounds actually didn't quite manage to finish off the car, but the second machine gun, Obersoldaten, Volksgrenadiers, will be able to recrew the destroyed MG34, destroy the scout car, and fully wipe the Vet 3 flamethrower squad inside. What the heck? That was a big loss for Jesulin. Conscripts going into close range, throwing a Molotov at the MG34, getting a nice flame crit. It will be forced to retreat. The Obersoldaten, meanwhile, continue to rotate around. They're up to 16 kills already. Obersoldaten performed, of course, extraordinarily well against conscripts BAM, but those shock troops get into close range and force up a quick retreat. Meanwhile, the Volksgrenadiers in the south continue their harassment. They are going to take the strategic point down there.
Volksgrenadiers back to full strength. Under fire!
Conscripts kind of just hanging around on the munitions point. Shock troops forced to make a hasty retreat after throwing a smoke grenade. We do have a Minesweeper making its way towards the victory point. Cruzz doesn't want to get caught by another nasty demo charge. Sweeps it up. Sees that there's no demo charge there, so he should be able to take the point safely. And he is also throwing out some fresh Volksgrenadiers to replace that full squad that he lost. He has no munitions currently, so I think he just purchased another upgrade. Yeah, his Vet 2 Volksgrenadiers are upgrading with Panzerschreck now. Stern Pioneers engaging some conscripts in red cover. I think the Stern Pioneers have this engagement thanks to the green cover provided by the demo charge crater, as well as the MG34 on their flank. They will be forced to retreat. Cruzz map control situation continues to be really good. Jesulin losing his scout car is now set back significantly. His map harassment and squad harassment ability has been completely destroyed. But, that being said, he has 260 fuel and 950 manpower right now. He really wants to get that KV-8 on the field. I can't imagine that he's actually holding out for an IS-2. I don't think, anyway. And how unusual is that to see 1,000 manpower being floated in a tournament semifinal game? That is insane. Jesulin is either holding out for a KV-8 or he's just going to go all the way to IS-2s and just try and hold on with shock troops until then, which, if that's the case, that blows my mind. That being said, he's not relying purely on Collins. He has purchased both Tier 1 and Tier 2, so he has access to field guns, Maxims, snipers. He has the full, low-tech Soviet arsenal at his disposal. He can get whatever he feels he needs. And he's just purchasing more conscripts right now. KV-8s are available to Jesulin, and he does not call one in. So I think he's going all the way to IS-2. It looks like to me anyway. Cruzz is hitting 9 command points as well. He does have access to the PaK-43. I expect him to throw one of those up soon to support his Panther, which just hit the field. Panther is definitely going to be a big deal. And it's actually, I guess, a good thing that Jesulin did not get a KV-8 because, of course, stand no chance against that Panther. One of the biggest strengths of the KV-8 is that it can destroy Overcommando Commando West trucks so incredibly quickly, and that if he had thrown that on the field immediately and rushed straight for the spare Panzer headquarters, I think he would have stood a decent chance of destroying it. But he probably would have lost his KV-8 in the process and would have been a big fuel setback. So I guess he thought that wasn't an investment that would be worthwhile. Field gun taking shots at the Panther and getting some nice frontal penetrations. Molotov goes into the church and is doing nothing. MG will reposition anyway, fortunately for Jesulin. Stern Pioneers being forced away by conscripts on the right side. Meanwhile, in the south, no real harassment attempts by Cruzz. There is a maximum defending as well as a couple of mines, so that could be a dangerous area for Cruzz's units to try and retake. Shock troops making a push for the north victory point once again. Ooh, nice mine. Getting 4 out of 5 Volksgrenadiers there. The MG-34 will continue its push for the southern victory point. It doesn't quite round the corner without getting suppressed, though. Looks like it will make it into the capture circle without getting pinned.
Ready to deploy! MG-42 mounted and ready.
Shock troops taking up a position in the green cover at the north victory point. Those Volksgrenadiers stand no chance. And he's actually going to try and close in on them, crossing the road but taking no damage on the approach. There's no MG-34 in the area. All MG-34s have been repositioned to the middle to make a push for the south with Obersoldaten and Volksgrenadiers. The Panther, however, is making its way to assist against those shock troops. The shock troops disengage to retake the victory point, while Flame Door Engineers and conscripts move up to finish the job against those Volksgrenadiers. With the Panther moves in. 2 model losses on those Volksgrenadiers. We also have an AT grenade hitting the frontal armor of that Panther, and it does have damaged engine, which will force it back for repairs. If those Flame Door Engineers round that corner, they could get wiped. He retreats just in time, maybe. Nope, there they go. Fortunately, they dropped their flamethrower right there in range for the conscripts to recover it, and honestly, that's actually better in the long run for Jesulin, I guess. Meanwhile, little cat and mouse between these Obersoldaten and conscripts here in the south. Molotov and Frangible being exchanged over the hedge, but an IS-2 is on the field. Jesulin has stalled long enough, and his IS-2 has arrived. Ooh, nasty opening shot on those Obersoldaten. They're in red cover, so the coaxial machine gun could have potentially been a problem, but pathing forced him to take the southern route. He's going to just force away all of these squads. No damage inflicted by the second shot, and that MG-34 looks like it should be able to make it home fine. The top mount machine gun is going to complete now, and the IS-2 will disengage. Conscripts moving to retake the victory point. Meanwhile, Field Gun taking up a position on the east side of the church. It looks like he's going to try and move that up to start taking shots at the... No, he's moving that back towards the center road to support his IS-2. Unfortunately, the PaK-43 has already been constructed, and boom, there it is. Loss of damage from that opening shot. So Jesulin now knows there will be a PaK-43 right there, and he's going to have to take a different angle of attack. The center is going to remain quite firmly in Cruzz's control until that gets destroyed. Shock Rifle does have the incendiary artillery strike available to it, so he has that option available to him to take out the PaK-43, but of course it will not destroy the gun, it will only decrew it, so it's not a hard counter. And it's unfortunate that that bombing run commanders are not a little bit more popular, or counterattacks, of course, against fortifications doctrine. Fortifications doctrine being so popular in this tournament, it seems like it would make a lot of sense to keep some sort of hard counter to the PaK-43 in your loadout. But Jesulin's just going to have to find a way to win without that. IS-2 does circle around to the north to start taking out the Schwer Panzer headquarters, but there is a nicely placed Volksgrenadier squad on its flank, and it's falling a little bit low, so Jesulin will have to bring it back. There is a Panther on the field. He cannot afford to let that Panther flank his IS-2. Potentially take it out. And look at that, Jesulin is bringing in a KV-8 after the IS-2. What an interesting choice. He's seen the Panther, he's seen the PaK-43, so he knows about the extremely potent anti-tank that Cruzz has at his disposal, but he's brought in a KV-8 anyway. Cruzz not really watching that squad there in the south, and it gets wiped by the KV-8. It's already made a pretty good entrance, 3 kills. And Jesulin's control of the victory points remains secure, holding the south and north. He's, like I said, going to have a lot of trouble taking the center with that PaK-43 covering. So he's working the flanks more so than anything else. There are also 2 team weapons available for him to recruit right outside of his base, and it looks like he's sending some conscripts to go do that right now. Things have kind of quieted down while Jesulin repairs his tank, but it looks like Cruzz is about to start some serious counter-harassment. He's got 3 squads making its way to fight these conscripts. They're throwing the Molotov, but it doesn't really hit anything. It falls a little bit short of the Volksgrenadiers. Nice dodge. Shock troops and Obersoldaten about to engage on the right side. Conscripts as well. IS-2 making its way forward. The KV-8 also making its way through the south. Gets a nice opening burst on that retreating Volksgrenadier squad. The second burst doesn't do a whole lot, unfortunately. There it goes. Lots of damage on that Volksgrenadier squad. It needs to retreat. He's just trying to bait Jesulin into sticking around just long enough for the PaK-43 to take him out. Second shot goes off. Panzerschreck does get dropped. I don't know if the PaK-43 is going to finish it. Just barely gets clear. Meanwhile, in the east, the Panther is engaging the IS-2. The IS-2 is on low and has to disengage, gets crew shock on the Panther. Infantry engagements continuing as well. The conscripts in the church are forced to retreat. The combat engineers actually are doing sufficient damage to those vetted Obersoldaten to force Cruzz to retreat. You can't really risk that engagement. And Jesulin will once again take control of 2 victory points. Cruzz pulling his Panther back. Again, can't afford to overextend, just playing super safe. I can't believe Jesulin's KV-8 survived that engagement. It just barely survived that second PaK-43 shot.
Look at Cruzzy. He's a madman.
That Panther wants to take out the KV-8, but just can't find it. Incendiary artillery falls perfectly on the 2 MG-34s. One down to 1 model. They're both retreating. No, it gets cleared. Meanwhile, the engagement's going horribly for those Volksgrenadiers, getting blasted by those conscripts with the picked up flamethrower. IS-2 also bleeding them hard. The Panther has to pull back for repairs. Look how damaged it was. That was a massive overextension by Cruzz. He lost an MG-34 to his opponent. 2 MG-34s. He has 1 remaining. Jesulin looking very strong now. Cruzz's aggression definitely cost him. 2 field guns are now pushing way forward. Looks like he's gonna... no, he changed his mind. For a second I thought he was gonna try and make a huge push on the Schwer Panzer headquarters to destroy it, but I guess he decided I better repair my tanks first. MG-34 recovered, and the center victory point will get taken by those conscripts. Cruzz's blob is making its way back towards the center. Cruzz's second Panther will hit the field very soon. Probably a good choice against well, maybe. You could definitely make a case for the King Tiger there, but Second Panther will, of course, arrive faster.
Standing by.
And given Cruzz's current map control, King Tiger might take quite a while to arrive, and he doesn't want to have to deal with 2 IS-2s potentially with only 1 Panther at his disposal. Jesulin's repairs continue ever so slowly, and those Panthers are going deep. If those Panthers locate the damaged tanks, they could easily destroy both of them, especially with his Volksgrenadier support. Fortunately, Jesulin does have his 2 field guns available. Cloaked as well. But Cruzz is not making an aggressive push. He doesn't want to get punished for over-aggression the way he was just a moment ago.
Panther, ready to move. Panther, under attack. Establish defensive prepare yourself.
IS-2 moves up, takes a shot from the Panzerschreck. No lucky shot for Jesulin there. MG-34 will take the center victory point.
Send orders.
Although it's taking heavy damage in red cover just from the conscripts in the church. Stern Pioneers are moving up to clear the church. Field guns firing on the Panthers. They just barely have an angle.
Return fire. Return fire.
Not really connecting though, missing and bouncing. Panthers take minimal damage. The MG-34 has been reduced to 1 man, and there's a huge force of stuff making its way towards the center now. Look how many combat engineers Jesulin has purchased. He really needs to speed up those repairs, so he's spending quite a bit of manpower on that aspect of his army. Meanwhile, he has a stolen MG-34 making its way towards the south. It should be able to pretty effectively defend that victory point unless Cruzz makes a pretty earnest push, rather than just a lone squad making a harassment attempt. Field gun setting up. Nice shots on that Panther. 2 penetrate, bringing it down to just a little over half. The IS-2 still in great condition. Obersoldaten moving up to try to clear the field guns, but they're taking massive damage from the IS-2, and he got wiped! He just wasn't paying attention! And they handed MG-34 over to his opponent, going to get recovered by that combat engineer squad, turning them, of all squads, into an extremely dangerous anti-infantry squad. The IS-2 really wants to punish that Panther, and it's rotating! Oh, but the IS-2 couldn't get a shot off.
Combat promotion.
Could not get a shot off. That was close. Meanwhile, the KV-8 wanted to move up and take out some infantry there on the right, but he does get caught by the Panther. Panther could chase it hard. The 2 field guns are... Oh no! The field guns are mobilizing to take it out, and the Panther hit a mine, giving it engine damage. Fortunately, the engine is not destroyed. Oh, it didn't hit a mine, excuse me. The conscripts behind it threw an AT grenade. Meanwhile, the house collapses from the KV-8 flames, and Jesulin is not going to pursue the field guns. So both Panthers have to pull back for repairs. Ultimately, neither one of them will be destroyed. Jesulin also has to do plenty of repairing of his own. He also needs to reinforce those field guns. I'm actually kind of surprised he isn't merging some conscripts into those field guns. He has lots of conscripts available that you could throw in there and retreat them and reinforce them. You can't really retreat a field gun, but he's actually just going to manually walk the field gun back to his base to reinforce it. So conscript merge could have been useful, but that being said, he really needs these conscripts to participate in this engagement for the victory point. He does not want to lose this victory point. Molotov going out on the Obersoldaten. Counter grenade goes out and takes out 1 model. The Molotov also burns 1 Obersoldaten squad member to death. Oh, the IS-2 shows up. Overs do make it away. Conscripts also make it away. The fully repaired IS-2. Kind of dancing with the Panther a little bit. Meanwhile, the MG-34 in the south is firing on another MG-34 in the south. MG fight. It looks like Cruz's might win because it's bet 3, even though it walked into the arc. Oh, I don't know. It's pinned. I don't know. That's going to be a weird engagement. There are Volksgrenadiers moving up on the flank to support, so it looks like Jesulin will get forced away because it's such low health. There it goes. The gunner just got sniped. He's going to lose that south victory point. He's losing the middle as well to those Stern Pioneers, and both Panthers have been fully repaired. Jesulin down to 170 victory points. He doesn't have that much time to make something happen. KV-8 being used as counter harassment. It's almost like in the early game where he was using that scout car. That scout car with a flamethrower inside of it as counter harassment. Now he's got a KV-8. It's basically just a beefier version of the same thing. flamethrowers, of course, make great counter harassment. And KV really needs to get to safety. The 2 field guns are on the way. He's trying so hard to bait that Panther around the corner, but KV gets taken down before the Panthers will chase into the arc of fire of those 2 field guns. That's forcing the IS-2's hand. He has to trade. If he lets that KV-8 get taken down unpunished, it could be very bad for him, so he's engaging very aggressively here. The stolen MG-34 combat engineers take out the MG-34 from behind. Conscript's moving up to fire on the engine of that Panther, but it is blitzing out of jail free. Look at it go. Hasn't even really taken damage thanks to the Vet 2 armor bonus. Everything bouncing off of the front, and Cruzz will get away clean, taking out that KV-8 and sustaining minimal losses. He did lose, of course, his MG-34. So Jesulin probably going to be able to recover some team weapons down here in the south. But he did lose his KV-8, which is going to hurt his counter-harassment ability. We do have a demo charge going down, however. Jesulin taking advantage of his field advantage right now, throwing a demo charge on the strategic point. So Cruzz's counterattack will be hampered in that regard if he doesn't spot it with his Minesweeper. Meanwhile, in the north, those conscripts are about to get pushed away for sure. Unfortunately, there are no demo charges or anything that can counter-harass there, except for a fresh IS-2. He's probably going to be sending that straight north, trying to hold on to the victory point with that. And Jesulin has made yet another field gun. He just can't get enough AT to deal with these Panthers, and now that one of them's Vet 2, he's gonna need all the AT he can get. So there's the 3rd field gun out. Trying to do what he can with those. IS-2 forces away some infantry there in the north. Meanwhile, the Vet 2 IS-2 has been fully repaired, and the Vet 2 IS-2 is no joke. That's going to be a very serious threat to Cruzz. Of course, he always has the safe haven of his Pak-43. So anytime his Panthers are in trouble, he just needs to retreat to that position, and he should be okay. Oh, 2 out of 4 Oversoldaten taken down by some nice flamethrower bursts from those conscripts. Those conscripts with that flamethrower have been huge. I can't check their kill count because they're retreating, but I'm guessing it's somewhere in the 30s. Maybe the high 20s. Cruzz getting pretty bold against that IS-2. Oh, and it proves to be a fatal mistake. He thought that the vet bonuses would give him the time he needed to capture that point. He loses a full vet Pulse Grenadier squad. Cruzz wants to punish that. He's blitzing like crazy right into that IS-2. This is not a vetted IS-2. It could go down. Vet 2 Panther is leading the charge, and his frontal armor bonus could really help. Deflected shot there. And it is actually now circling around, but there's another field gun, and the Vet 2 IS-2 has shown up to assist in this engagement. It's trying to blitz to safety, but it's getting stuck on a bush, and the field gun takes it out. And Jesulin takes out a Panther unpunished. Again, Cruzz's overaggression proves to be his downfall here. Jesulin taking out a Panther. Cruzz has 165 fuel. He could throw out another one, but that being said, his Schwer Panzer headquarters is now under attack by an IS-2. His Pak-43 doesn't have range to retaliate, and his Vet 2 Panther is so wounded that it can't attempt to flank. So it just has to pound away at the IS-2 from the front and hope for frontal penetrations. But it's not even hitting, it's just hitting these bushes. I don't think that Schwer Panzer HQ stands a chance of surviving this. Now with 2 field guns moving up. Panther now taking fire from 2 AT guns and a Vet 2 IS-2. Fortunately, that armor bonus is just doing work and keeping that Panther alive. Stolen MG-34 engaging the Vet 5 Pulse Grenadiers in the south. They do get suppressed. Grenade going out. Jesulin intentionally setting up out of cover so that a grenade can't take him out. He could have easily set up in yellow cover somewhere, but he chose to set up in the open. His squad members are nicely spaced. He will survive that grenade, but 2 squads of Oversoldaten are making their way down as well. The Schwer Panzer headquarters in the north has been destroyed. The Vet 2 Panther, like I said before, safe haven behind the Pak-43, doing the best it can to survive there. MG-34 has been killed south. on retreat by the Obersoldaten. 3-man squad taking that munitions point. A couple of squads going to recover some team weapons down there as well.
Prepare for action. Jagdpanzer, ready for action. Prepare to execute.
Full repairs going up on the Vet 2 IS-2. For a second I was confused. I was like, what is that squad? And then I remembered that they have a stolen MG-34. But he hasn't made that much use of it, sadly. They have 3 kills, but I think he got those 3 kills before picking up the MG because he has almost no vet. No vet on those engineers. It's sad to not see that turn into like a Vet 3 super squad of combat engineers. Things very quiet as the repairs proceed. A Jagdpanzer being thrown on the field by Cruzz. Out of desperation, his Schwerpanzer headquarters has been destroyed. He can't wait for the King Tiger. He needs the AT now. I think it may struggle a little bit against these field guns, though. The field guns are a serious concern. Oh no! The Vet 2 IS-2 gets sniped by the Jagdpanzer. Just as I am saying that I think it's a mistake, it takes out a Vet 2 IS-2 from maximum range. With help, of course, from that Pack 43, which is now Vet 5. Making it a ridiculous anti-tank monstrosity. He's actually going to try and demo charge it. He is sending those minesweepers deep. Oh, but he changes his mind and drops incendiary artillery. If that clears the gun, at the very least, it will lose its Vet bonuses. So that will be a big win for Jesulin if that happens. It looks like they might have landed sufficiently to do so, taking heavy damage. Heavy damage. Yep, there it goes. No more Vet 5 Pack 43. Jesulin has had enough.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in the south, another KV-8 has been fielded, and it is going to try and wipe these Obers on retreat. Oh, Jagdpanzer hits a mine on its way down. That mine has been there all game, and it could potentially save this KV-8's life. I don't know, though. That Vet 2 Panther is still chasing. Panther shot misses, but it just blasts through the hedges. A T-grenade going out from the conscripts just before they get pinned. Unfortunately, it is out of control, but Jesulin is making his way down there with his remaining IS-2. He also has a field gun in the area, but it's a little bit slow to react. There it goes. Both of these vehicles have heavily damaged engines, but Sturm Pioneers are repairing the Jagdpanzer there in the back. The IS-2 is going in hard, field gun trying to round the corner. IS-2 is penetrating every single shot on the Panther's frontal armor. It needs one more, but it doesn't fire. It can't fire from that angle. Field gun doing nice damage to the damaged engine Jagdpanzer, and that is an insanely tempting target. Both of those tanks are about to pass right over Jesulin's demo charge. Oh my god. Oh, the field gun takes it out. It's now a Vet 3 field gun with conscripts screening away the Sturm Pioneers. The conscripts will be forced to retreat. And the AT gun is pulling back to the safety of the IS-2. Meanwhile, in the center, MG-34 combat engineers could wipe those Volksgrenadiers. Do it! Yes! The MG-34 combat engineers are about to recover a Panzerschreck. They capture the middle point, and Cruzz surrenders.
GG!
That's the game. GG.
Oh my god. Romeo, you put on a hell of a show, man. Whoa, what a game.
Oh, wow.
I am blown away. That was so good. That was so good. The Allies win! The Allies win! Romeo, I lost your video on Skype. Can you send it again?
Oh, yeah.
What an epic game one. Holy smokes, man. I really enjoyed that you solo casted that because I was able to concentrate on observing, and that was a challenge, man. It was going on everywhere. But
yeah,
I feel
always 2-3 engagements happening at all different points of the map.
I feel like I did a decent job observing. I think I caught all the action. Man, that was ace. Send me that video. Can you try to send video on Skype?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
Maybe,
There we are. Okay. We lost you. Now we got to call back. Okay. We'll wait for a call. All right. Accept. Okay, we are back. Romeo, hell of a cast, man. Kudos. Nice casting work. You guys, this is the future of Company of Heroes casting right here. Right here. Excellent cast, Romeo. Sick game one. Sick.
Oh, shucks. You
Sick.
flatter me.
No, I'm sure everybody appreciates it. You did a wonderful job. Jesulin just showed us how every unit is always doing exactly what they should be doing. He never misses a single beat. The AT guns are always moving. The infantry's always capping. The tanks are always finding position. Oh, my God.
It's amazing,
Wow.
and I can't take credit for doing a good cast when Jesulin and Cruzz are providing all of the excitement. That's what really brings the passion out, is those amazing plays and that amazing micro. You were saying before how some games are all about strategy and some are more about tactics, and I think that one just was through the roof in both. Just units going everywhere.
And Cruzz,
And
he played those Panthers the way he played the USF Shermans. He was throwing these Panthers deep behind enemy lines. I love his aggressiveness. I mean, he's down 1-0 now. I hope that he can carry on fighting and keep up that level of micro. It's just insane. I mean, he like spins your head. I'm thinking, like, how can you ever have your AT guns facing the right direction when Cruzzy's playing against you, right? Because this guy's just stuff's moving everywhere all the time. All right, excellent game. I'm going to throw it to a break. We're going to hop right into game two. We think it's game two. If it's still on Kolodny Firma, we know it's game two. But, man, that I can safely say that is the best game of Company of Heroes 2 we've ever seen on Kolodny Firma. I can safely say that. And you know I'm right. Back me up in chat. Back me up. All right, I'm going to go to the break. We'll be right back. Stick with us.